Okay, so I'm going to go through the beginning of the play, and I'm just recording this because a few of you are absent either at your sociology exam or I don't know where you are, to be honest. So this is an interview with Polly Teal, and I just want to show you a couple of things I'd highlighted. So one of the things, so you can use this for AO2 and AO5. I'm saying AO2 because I'm just looking here, the metaphor of the locked room. Whilst Mrs. Rochester was literally locked up and held captive, Jean was also a prisoner of her own psyche. Now, where it says here, just be careful, where it says the schizophrenia of growing up as a poor colonial, she's not referring there to an actual mental illness. She was not diagnosed with schizophrenia. She's talking about like leading that kind of like almost like a double life and the tensions that are caused between that. So what have I highlighted here? I wanted Jean's mother to represent that whole system, the fear that underlays so much of the way colonials behaved, their obsession with control and order in the face of the unknown. And if you're doing the mother question, this is interesting. So Teal says of her, although she behaves monstrously, I see her as a tragic figure born into a regime that was based on repression. So that's a lovely bit of AO5 there to bring in if you're talking about the mother. Let's just try and stabilise that a little bit. Sorry, I'm really not happy with the setup of my camera. Just let it rejig. Right, lovely. All right, what was the other thing I highlighted? The need to conceal the parts of herself that she knew to be unacceptable was a constant theme in Jean's life. That's interesting, isn't it? And then there, for Jean, writing was not a choice, but a necessity. Through it, she tried to exorcise. If you're going to use that word in your essay, make sure it's spelt right. She's not going to the gym with her demons. To exorcise means to try and get rid of them. Although when I'm at the gym, it does feel like I am exorcising my demons. Through sweat. All right, okay, sorry. Shall I give you a second to catch up? Do you not have your play, Emily?
Yeah, I've got the players got right.
Would anyone like to comment on any of that or elaborate? Lucy?
No.
You can. I don't have the key for that cupboard right now, so go and grab one from next door, dead quick. All right, so that's just a little kind of, if you haven't read the introduction yet or any of the other interviews that are in the classroom, then please do. In a nutshell, we have given you all of the material that you need to write this coursework. You just have to read it.
I have a question.
Yes, Emily?
So, all about parts of AO5, right?
Yeah.
How would you integrate that into the actual essay?
Okay, right. So, for example, if you're doing the mother's question and you're writing about how you see Jean's mother as being responsible for the way that her daughter turned out, for her coldness towards her own daughter, you then might simply say something along the lines of, even Polly Teal, in an interview, suggested that although she behaves monstrously, she sees also that she also sees her as a tragic figure born into a regime that was based on repression. Is that helpful?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so let's move on then. Now, this is interesting. A lot of people seem to forget the actual setting for this play. It's a room in the remote Devon countryside. So physically, we're in England, but we're taken to many different locations in this, throughout the journey of this play, right? And then look at this. In Bertha's reality, the room of the play is the attic of Jane Eyre. So already Teal is telling us that this space on the stage functions very differently for the two different characters. Jean is in her room in Devon. Bertha is locked in the attic of Thornfield Hall. Although she relates physically and emotionally to Jean Ella, she is always remembering events from her own life. So tomorrow when I'm not in college, what if you use that time to come into the classroom, somebody logs onto Netflix and you start watching Jane Eyre? Obviously start watching it over lunchtime, Alicia, so you get the full benefit. Okay, so here we are. It's 1957. It's a long time ago, that, isn't it? Quick bit of mental maths. How many years ago is that?
Over 2. Definitely over 2 years. Something 3.
No. 64. 64. Shannon's all over it. Jean Reese's bed, living, writing room. There's a large wardrobe containing clothes. The floor is littered with suitcases and boxes. Right, what does that suggest? If the floor has these two things, suitcases and boxes, what does it suggest, Emily?
It's got like a similar to a thing like unsettled or another kind of
Yeah, good.
at home.
Transient.
Yeah.
And we know how important that is, don't we, in her life, that she never feels settled anywhere. Sorry, Ellie, were you going to say something as well then?
No?
Just a no. Bertha Mason, Rochester's first wife from Jane Eyre, is lying on the ground asleep. Jean is sitting close to her. Although Jean is made up and dressed up, there is a drunken, dishevelled look about her. She has a glass of wine in her hand. She's trying to write. She speaks the following lines to herself, struggling to form the sentence. So the first time we meet our protagonist and Bertha, neither of them are presented as stable. One of them is not even conscious. And they're both pretty dishevelled. Standing by the river, looking at the stepping stones, the round, unsteady stone, the pointed, the safe one where you stand and look around. The next one, not so safe, not so safe. So we know that an aspect of AO2, we know this from studying 12th night, is structure. What's going on structurally here? What part of the play is this? Do we call it the beginning? What do we call it? Charlotte? It is the opening. What else is it? Nidhi? Nidhi? What do you call the beginning of the play in 12th night? Can we go back to Freytag and the structure? Alicia? Go on, Ellie. The exposition. So, here we have the exposition of the play. But what else structurally, Jess, is going on here? What is being introduced here? Okay, let's take a moment to unpick it then. First of all, it's Jean speaking, and she's talking about a river and about stones. Some are safe and some are not. So what are we being... Why? These are the first lines of the play. Go on, Emily, before you give yourself a heart attack. Okay, so it's a connection to her childhood.
And it's the beginning of storytelling through memories.
Storytelling through memory, lovely. I'm not ready to move away from these lines yet, though. I think they're doing something else. Lee? Of what?
Like about how some things are, like they could all look the same, but some look the same, some look the same, and some don't. I don't know. I know what I'm trying to go.
Yeah, you are almost there. The first lines of a play, in terms of structure, are so important, aren't they? Tell me about Twelfth Night. What's the first line of Twelfth Night? If music be the food of love, play on. Unless the first line of Twelfth Night is, Jess? To be or not to be? Unless, what is sometimes the first line of Twelfth Night? And what's the line? It's the first line of Act 1, Scene 2. What country friends is this? So we know that opening lines are really important. So what's going on here? Opening off the play. I'm not doing the work for you today. You were lazy yesterday. Lazy and stubborn. Come on, Emily M. Lee started you off a little bit. She's talking about something to do with some things are safe and some not. Right, so ideas of trust. Standing by the river, looking at the stepping stones. Can you all visualise doing that now, please? Ellie's closed her eyes, just for added effect. Someone turn a tap on. Right, what are rivers constantly doing? Moving, flowing. Stepping stones help you get across a river. Is she safely getting from one part of her life to another? No, every time she makes a journey, a transition, it is fraught with change or danger. So you are right, Lee, there is something going on symbolically, extended metaphor. Brilliant, right. Whew. River, the stone. This is what we mean by this close analysis. Imagine if you'd done this in your dystopian exam. I wouldn't have cried marking your essays. Okay. Let's do this then. Let's look at the opening of Oranges. Like most people, I lived for a long time with my mother and father. My father liked to watch the wrestling. My mother liked to wrestle. It didn't matter what. She was in the white corner, and that was that. And then, do the same on this one. If these are the first 3 sentences of this novel, what are they telling you is going on? Freya?
That our mother's like very dominant and like a father sort of very mean.
Right, so I would like you to use 2 different words for that. And it's 2 words that we often use to describe characters. Active and passive. My father liked to watch the wrestling. My mother liked to wrestle. Hi, Charlotte. Katie. Are you just out your exam? Yeah. I've been recording it anyway. If you can't, move that bin over here. It's right in the way, isn't it? Come and put it under this table here for me. Lovely. Right, what else? So it tells us something about these two characters. Lee? What theme is introduced? Right, yeah. Is this something perhaps suggesting that there is dysfunctionality? What else has been introduced? Lucy? What theme has been introduced here? Begins with a C. It's linked with wrestling. Emily? Conflict. The theme of SmackDown.
Did you also say religion?
Who said that? Alicia.
Because in the white corner.
Yes. I might prefer you to say something other than religion, but she was in the white corner, and that was that. Is it telling? She's stubborn. She's always.
What is the white corner?
It's just a cut in the red corner, in the white corner.
Oh, so she's just not changing her ways.
She's not changing her ways, but white is also symbolic of
No, purity.
purity, like basically having the moral higher ground. Okay? I mean, are some of you thinking now that you could do one of your points simply on the opening of these texts? Gonna get wet walking to work, Emily? Would you like to borrow my umbrella? Lee?
You know the 3-episode BBC series on oranges? Is it like informative or is it different?
I didn't like it.
I bought it, but I don't want to watch it if it's going to confuse me.
You're not an idiot, Lee.
No, but I mean, you know how some things were done differently?
Yeah,
Like they haven't changed the story.
I haven't even watched it all. It annoyed me that much.
Alright, okay.
Right, okay, so shall we go back to the play? Yeah? We're 18 minutes in. I don't really want to do more than half an hour on this, otherwise it's going to get a bit boring, isn't it? Is it helpful, or do you just like being passive? All right, okay. All right, what is going on here then? Now, you don't know this lady, but we used to have an English teacher here called Claire, and she was the loveliest and kindest. No, she's only a bit older than me. Don't say I'm elderly. 4, because I'm the same age as your mother, all right?
You're the same age? You were in the same year?
Yeah, she's about 6 months. She's 6 months older than me, I think. But Claire would love this bit here, because she really liked what's going on with this imagery. What? Anyone? What's going on? We've got a door. So there's a door, there's someone knocking. Hang on. Just in case you wondered what knocking was. The front door opens. She comes in. No, not quite. But it's this idea, in literature, often a lot is made of like doors and windows and who is denied entrance and who is locked out. I don't know if you know Wuthering Heights and the whole ghost scene with Kathy's ghost trying to get into to the window. That's in the Kate Bush song. It's me, it's your window. Oh, let me in at your window. Kate Bush. Mean. The sound of the daughter trying the handle. But basically, her daughter is denied entry. So where's that taking us symbolically? What's that? Edie?
Jean doesn't want to open up to her daughter.
Yeah. Yeah, lovely. So it's the door is barred, just like her emotions.
She also be denying her motherhood because of her experience as a daughter.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, contextually, I think I've told you this, but the baby she had before she had this child died. Can't imagine that was a very... I can't imagine that helped her feel better about motherhood. And as you know, this daughter was looked after like in a convent orphanage type thing. So it's not like she brought this daughter up either. I had to find the key to the front door under the stone in the dark. There's those stones again. You're early. 6 o'clock, that's what I said in my telegram. I'm late. Saturday, you said. It is Saturday. The boat was delayed. Storms. I missed my train at Paddington. Then I couldn't get a taxi at the station. So this daughter has been on quite the journey to get there, hasn't she? Bertha stirs. She's been disturbed by the noise. Excuse me? She utters something inaudible. Jean looks at her, panic-stricken. What did you say? I'm open the door. Busy. What are you doing? I'll tell you later. Later? Tomorrow. You said you were coming tomorrow. I said I was coming on Saturday. You turn up out of nowhere, banging on my door in the middle of the night, shouting, letting yourself in, uninvited. I was invited. You said, come as soon as you... Who do you think you are? Never here when you're needed. Never. I'm going to bed. Tomorrow. I've been travelling for 2 days. I'm so tired, I can hardly stand. I'll see you in the morning. I'm sorry. Yes, sorry, yes, that's right, so am I. And then Bertha says, round stone, not so safe. Even when it dry, it shows slippery. Even when it dry, it shows slippery. Slippery. What did you say? Good night. Good night. So that whole little exchange, it's not a scene completely, but it's contained within those images of the river and the stones and the idea of journey. And there's journeys going on. The daughter's travelled. So if you're doing the fate question, this might be something that you want to look at. But what would you like to say about Teal ending this section of the play here with that imagery of the stone again? I'm going to be picking on people at random, so everybody have a little think about this, please. What do we think? Shannon? Why have Bertha almost repeat word for word what's been said there at the end of this section? Why? Why would Teal want to make more of a point of it? I think you're onto something, but it needs that next little bit.
Could it be like some sort of warning or something?
Okay, some kind of warning. That's interesting. Right, we'll let that hang there a little bit. Laura? think Niddy's going to help you out a bit. Go on, Niddy.
Maybe like trying to like exaggerate the point that even though like they're together again, it's still not like stable. Like it's still slippery.
Right.
It's still like not safe. Like,
Okay. Shannon, is that maybe what you were trying to get at, like reinforcing that sense of instability? Does anyone else like to offer a reading? So what we're doing now is AO5.
I thought maybe when it's brought that it doesn't, she can't see the whole truth. Like it says that it looks like it's slippery, but it's not. It's dry.
Yeah.
So maybe about how like Jean's like an opportunity to put shrouds of pride, control, and upbringing, and when the path is safe, isn't looking.
Yeah.
Maybe she's not doesn't feel like capable of doing things that she can do.
That's interesting, like the deception and trust. Alicia and then Edie.
I was going to say more or less the same thing.
Okay, thank you. Edie?
I was going to say it's a bit of a stretch, but there might be some ideas about alcoholism in there. Even when it's dry, it's like not safe.
Yeah.
Even when Jean's sober, she still makes the wrong decisions.
Oh, that is interesting. I've been recording it, Jess, because I knew there were a few people in their exam. Okay, well, what I'm going to suggest you do now then is, I'll just draw a little line there. Why don't, as a group, you have a go at doing what I've just done there up to page 8, up to there. I never once saw her cry. And then we'll have a look at that one together. So I'm going to give you about 15 minutes in your groups to do that next section together and see what ideas you can come up with. Laura and Niddy, are you two all right on your own, or would you like to join a bigger group? Are you all right as a pair? All right.